are live.
Good evening.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, wherever you are in the world. Hope you all had a good Saturday. Is it Saturday today?
It's
It's
Saturday.
a good Saturday. Hope you had a good Saturday today. We've had a wonderful Saturday.
We've had a busy Saturday.
Very busy Saturday today.
Yes. We've had the shop open. I've just been doing a class on psychic development online. And now we're so excited because we've got a wonderful person lined up for an
big
interview.
treat for us. Big treat for you.
Yeah, we love it.
And we're going, we're on right now. Hello, Crystal.
Hey,
hi guys. Hello from Vegas.
Oh. Yeah, and she's been telling me that it's 96 degrees in Las Vegas and she's cold.
Sweater.
I know. It's just not fair. So Crystal, we're going to introduce you to all our lovely people. So this is Crystal. And online at the moment, we've got Margaret, Richard.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Darren.
We've got Darren online. We've got Nick online. And we're going to have Vanessa any second now. She's coming up there.
Rebecca's
we've got
on.
Rebecca online. So
Stuart's on somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they all want to say hello to you, Crystal.
Hi, guys.
Do you remember Crystal from last month when she came on with her book?
Yes.
And then we had a little chat about what she's going to be doing over in Las Vegas. Oh, it's somewhere I want to go and live. I want to go there. I'd go there tomorrow.
And the thing is, if we did live there, we could still do Gifted Ghost TV. Well, because I'll be here, you'll be over there.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
the deal.
No.
You shook on it.
No.
You shook on it. Yeah.
So, Crystal, can you see the chat?
I cannot. So it was like creating feedback if I tried to open that.
Oh,
Okay,
that's okay.
right, yeah.
Don't worry. Well, they're all on there saying hello. Hi. So
Hi,
just
everyone.
we'll put a question up on the front if we
Yeah.
Throughout the interview, which if you've got any,
there
you go. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, this is Mark.
Hi, everybody.
There's Richard.
They're all there.
So, do you know all these people?
No.
We know some of them.
We've kind of built up a community now, haven't we?
Yeah.
So, and they come on. They are so loyal. As soon as we go live, they're all there going, hello. So, yeah. So Richard, we know Richard. Richard's been in a few times.
He has, yeah.
Darren is a very good friend of ours. He does our paranormal investigations with us.
Yeah.
And Margaret and Nick, they are part of our wonderful family. We're calling it the gifted family at the moment. And then we've got Mr. Finch has just arrived. So
Mr. Finch. Hi, Mr. Finch.
Mr. Finch. So even Mr. Finch comes online, doesn't he? And because Mr. Finch works with us all day, and he sees the ghosties in here. Because you see, what's happening, Crystal, is we are in a very haunted building, and we share it with the beautiful ghosts, and we see them, feel them, hear them. And then when we go live, they go quiet.
They go to bed. They come with us.
They leave with us.
They come with us.
But Crystal, you've been coming online, haven't you? Have you been hearing anything?
There's been footsteps. Every time I log in, it's about 3 a.m. your time because of the time zone change. I hear like footsteps and talking, sometimes whispering, all kinds of bangs.
Yeah.
It's just it's definitely on my bucket list to come visit and investigate.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. I just felt someone touch me then. I just felt someone touch me. I did. I felt someone touch my arm. This is when we need the SLS camera to show what's just happened then to me. But yeah, that's why even Crystal's hearing all this at night. So when you come on, Crystal, just leave us a little comment, say hi, because we go through all the comments. So we'll be like, oh, Crystal came on. So we love that.
There are so many bangs and taps that we just cannot explain. Yeah. People keep telling us it's somebody throwing bricks at the windows, and we aren't that hated.
No.
Through the night.
Yeah.
Throwing bricks.
People pass through. Yeah. No, we don't. It's me floorboards, that is. That sounds like things tapping.
There's a lot. Oh, with Sean and Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Sean.
Yeah, it's a strange building for the noises it gets, but we're asking for it to be shown more than be seen, heard.
Yes.
So we want people to show themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Crystal, we don't talk. So, I think, over to you. Yeah. What do we want to ask, Crystal?
We want to know how your book relaunch is going and when it's going to be relaunched.
Yes.
Oh, I don't have an exact date in mind. Dancing with Demons should be out the end of November. I'm still doing the editing process with it. It's a lot of work to do it yourself.
Yeah.
But James Anito from Demonology Duo here in the States, he works with Carl Johnson. I don't know if you guys know them or not. Carl Johnson worked the original case with, the name escapes me. It's a really popular haunting in Connecticut. And I forget who was, it was with that couple that I always refer you guys as.
The Warrens.
The Warrens, yes. He worked with the Warrens on this case.
Amityville.
Yes. No.
No.
Is it Amityville? I
Yeah,
can't remember. It's one of those famous cases.
Yeah, they did have
The Warrens did do that, yeah.
James Anito wrote the foreword for the book, so I'm really excited about that.
Wow. Brilliant.
That is excellent. Brilliant. So we'll all look forward to that. Where can people buy the book from?
Amazon, go to my website, thomas.org.
And what's the book about?
Oh, it's about a personal experience I've had with a really negative entity in my own house about 10 years ago. And the things that were going on in that house, I believe I got physically ill from it. That's how severe this haunting was. So it goes into that and just different negative entities and how we portray negative entities in the paranormal world and in the trends and stuff like that follow it.
It sounds like a deep read, that is, when it comes to, because it's
it's going to be one of those deeper reads. Hollywood likes to portray the demonic and negative entities as like head spinnings and beds levitating and all that kind of stuff. And I don't believe, like, I think that stuff can happen, but it's really rare. I believe it happens more on a psychological level. So those are the points I want to get across in this book. So it's called Dancing with Demons, and it's because you're dancing with different entities and just a lot of stuff that comes into play with it. It's kind of a neat book. I'm excited about it.
So can we get any copies of that? I was just thinking that so we can sell that in the shop.
Darren's asking a question there. Darren's straight in there. How much is it, Crystal?
How much is it, Crystal?
Boom.
Well, the pre-sales is going to be like $6.66.
Oh,
To make it kind of fun.
Oh my God. That's a good idea.
That's
actually.
a good idea.
Yeah.
$6.66. W.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go, Darren. That's how much it is on Amazon, and we'll let you know when that actually, the day that comes out.
Can we sell them in the shop, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you some.
Days to collect some, and then come back and sell.
Yeah. I'll come over, collect some, and bring them back.
Oh, Richard's asking a serious question.
I'm sorry, Richard.
He's asking a serious question.
Sorry, Richard.
Right.
Okay.
This is Richard's question. So basically, the negative energy messes with your mind.
Yes, I believe that's how it works. If you ever notice, a lot of oppressions, they start out with the person becoming more isolated. They become angry. They become depressed. There's all kinds of different situations that comes into play. So I think that's how it happens. I really believe if energy can, if their energy is attaching to you, they can definitely manipulate your minds and your physical body.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So what happened to you then, Crystal? How did it affect you?
I was going to say, you don't want the book to?
No. Okay. No.
Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it.
You'll be saying what's happening in the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did your head spin at any time? Or
No, definitely not. There was one incident though where when the haunting first started, it's interesting how this stuff starts out. It's like if you've ever seen a tornado come through, I don't know if England has those or not, but it starts out small and the energy just kind of builds and builds until that storm breaks. And I think paranormal is very much like that in a haunting situation. It's like it starts out with maybe just small knocks or, little whispers, this, little stuff. And then it just builds and builds until you got a full-fledged haunting that's affecting everybody in the house. And that's how it happens for me.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of describing it. It builds up, doesn't it? So yeah, because it gets stronger, and it gets stronger from your energy and from your fear.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely, yeah. So yeah, I agree with that. So, well, we will definitely share a glimpse into your life, and look forward to that book. We'll look forward to that coming out. But meanwhile, what have you been up to?
What have you been up to, Crystal?
What have you been up to?
And your small town travels.
Oh, I have an exciting place to share with you guys today.
Yeah.
So this happened in February. I stayed at the famous Armagosa Hotel. It's an opera house and hotel, and it's at Death Valley Junction in California. There is nothing out there at all. What started it, there was a borax mine back in the turn of the century, and so it created one of those spurs. A spur is a little railroad line just to move ore or gold or whatever it is that they were digging out of the mountains. So there's nothing there. It's just flat desert. You're in the middle of Death Valley, literally.
Oh my God, imagine.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
So smack in the middle of this, there's this really strange looking building, and it's kind of U-shaped almost, but square. And it was back at the turn of the century when it first started. Nobody actually lived there, and nobody actually stayed there, which is why the hauntings of this place is so strange. It was a supervisor from the mine who stayed there for a while, and different people who would come in to buy the ore or gold would stay here. But it wasn't really a full-fledged hotel from the historical research I found. And nobody lived in it. It was a hospital for a while and a post office, and it was more of a gathering place for the workers. Now, the workers, they were all railroad people, and they consisted of like Chinese and Indian and different immigrants. They stayed in these big giant tents outside of the building in the field right behind it. It's an interesting place.
Yeah, I've got pictures here that sent us. I can't share them for some reason because this was, let me share JPEG. I've got a picture.
Got feedback, Mark. Some feedback there when you were talking. It was just gone.
Feedback?
Yeah, there was all feedback when you were talking.
So yeah, I'm looking at some pictures now that Krista sent me earlier. I wanted to share them, but won't let me share them for whatever reason. So I'll put on our Facebook page with some EVPs you've sent us as well. From there.
So I ended up staying there in February this past year, and this place was on Ghost Adventures, and that's how it became famous. They stayed there and did a full-fledged investigation. Around the 1960s, there was a lady who bought the place, fell in love with it, and this was when the railroad was closed, and so was the mines. It was just like a building sitting there. When she renovated the place, she turned part of it into an opera, which it used to be a church, and like a little playhouse kind of thing. She left half the building unfinished because she claimed that it was overrun by the spirits who resided there, and spirits meaning the people of the mine. And so what she did was it's like, if you look at the building, the whole thing is a big long hallway inside with some rooms on each side. So she cut it in half, basically, and walled it up so you can't get in there, and put a mirror there. And she says that's how the spirits would move in and out. And that's supposed to be the bad section of this hotel. When I stayed there, I stayed in the room that was right next to that entryway. So I was on the last room in that entire hallway. And of course, there was nobody staying there when I stayed there.
Oh my God.
So that night,
very brave.
That night, there was a lot of interesting things happened. So on the spirit box, I kept coming up with the name Thomas. I didn't know who that was at the time. I started doing some historical research with the Historical Society, and they were able to locate a Thomas who was associated with the lady. Her name was Marta, what was her name? Marta Beckett. And I don't know if this was a significant other of hers or at any rate, it was somebody that was helping her renovate the hotel. So that name kept coming up. There was a woman who called me in the middle of the night. That there's an EVP there that says my name.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard them. I want to get them shared on. I want to share them on our page.
Yeah, we will. We'll put all the photographs and the EVPs under on the post as soon as we've done this interview. So were you scared?
Was I scared?
Yeah.
It was kind of unnerving. Usually I'm not scared of that kind of stuff, but this place was a little unnerving. I don't know why. It's just that the feeling of it. It's got a heavy feeling to it.
Wow.
I would think it's because there's nobody else around, so you're not going to just go out and bump into loads of people to help.
No.
Just there on your
own. On your own, in a place.
Not only are you alone, you're in the middle of this desert where there's nothing for miles and miles. You know, it's just in the middle of the desert.
Mark would definitely love that.
I'd love that.
I'd stay in the nerve centre back in the town.
Back in England.
Back in England,
Yeah.
But I think you're really brave, Crystal. So, have you got anything else planned to go to these places?
Oh, I do. I have loads of stuff. I'm still working on that case with the haunted orchard in Tranquility, California. That's an interesting case. We have a paranormal Native American shaman who's going to come out and talk to the family because we believe that it's a Native American haunting. So we're going to work with the family with them to try to make peace with the elementals that are haunting the orchard, which I've never even, it's the first time I've ever had any kind of experience with that. On the other thing, in Jackson, we got a call, me and my, I have a friend that's helping me a lot with investigations. His name is Brian Bohal with the Paramigos in California. We got a call about a girl bought a really old house in Jackson, California, which is another ghost town. It's on the same street as the National Hotel, which is also very haunted. And she's having a lot of disturbances and stuff, and she's trying to make this place into an Airbnb. So I'm going to go stay there and see what's going on. And I have to tell you, there's a story with this too. I did an initial walkthrough of this place, and she took me into the basement, and it was the weirdest thing. The only thing I kept picking up on was bags of potatoes, and it looked like giant sacks of potatoes. And that's what I said, this is what I'm coming up with. Bottles, like there was a stack of bottles, and then there was sacks of potatoes. And I couldn't really, this is what you get with this stuff, right? You only get bits and pieces. And so I told her that and ended up leaving. And she called a couple of days ago and said, I found from the Historical Society that they were running a, what do you call it? Like a distillery in the basement because it was during Prohibition. Which I didn't know you make alcohol from potatoes, but
so they were making moonshine then. Vodka is made of potatoes. It's schnapps as well, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, potatoes. Yeah, vodka. That's made potatoes. So that's amazing. You picked that up in the first place.
Yeah, it's just little flashes though. Like I couldn't really piece together what the whole story or anything, but that's all I got.
That's what you do get, spontaneous clairvoyance, where you just get little flashes of things and you're just trying to piece it together, see whatever it means to you. But the most important thing is you are out and about all these places that we can only dream of that you're visiting. Little cemeteries on a mountain, and it's just honestly, I can't get over that.
You do, yeah.
Can you tell us a little story about the little cemetery that you went to? So remember the little boxes?
Oh yeah. So I didn't even forget where I was driving. It was out in the middle of the desert somewhere. And so when you're driving across the desert, you guys, just so you know, there's no bathrooms anywhere. And so when you have to go, you just pull off and go do your business in the desert, right?
What has got to be saying?
So this is one of those times. And I noticed that there was a cemetery right off the road. And so I went down there, and it's literally in the middle of nowhere. The cemetery had maybe 30 graves in there. And so I took the camera and kind of went through and sent it to Helen and Mark. And it was just the neatest thing. It was like turn of the century grave sites, just in nowhere.
Just lying around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could feel just from the video. You could feel. In fact, we should put one of the videos on the Facebook. We'll put all these on for you all, everyone, so you can see these.
You need to see them.
It was like a horror film.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. It was just these little tiny. One had a little railings around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why was that different? Yeah.
It was somebody had. It's weird. It's like somebody had hand welded wrought iron gate around those cemeteries.
Yeah.
Around the grave sites.
Yeah. I mean,
But there's no houses. There's nothing. Nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
No. Unbelievable. And little boxes that you could open, and just
So there wasn't a town nearby then. There's no town.
There's no town. There's no town.
That's in England, in Britain, because it's so tiny. You don't get that. I'd love that. Just go driving out somewhere.
Driving miles.
Just go for a wee in the desert and come across a cemetery. I'd love that.
I know.
So I need to be over there.
Well, we can go over there another time, but for tonight we're still here. So we're going to do live here. So.
I do like to see though as well.
So when it comes to writing books, Crystal, is there something that you'd be doing for next year, do you think?
There is. So the last time I was in Goldfield, Nevada, which is another popular haunted location because of the ghost adventures, there's a huge cemetery there, and I went to see that, and I saw this girl way at the end of the cemetery, and just a young girl, just one of those flashes. So I went over there to see, and there was a grave there, and it has her name on it. And I did a little bit of research into it, and it turns out that she was a suicide at age 21, and that she was listed as a prostitute. But again, I did some historical research on it, and I feel like she's trying to tell her story. Because the name on the gravesite's not even her real name. It turned out that she's from a well-to-do family in Texas, and they wanted her to marry another wealthy guy. She ran away from that, and that's how she ended up in Goldfield as a prostitute. Her parents just totally disowned her, didn't want anything else to do with her, so they put a false name not to put any negative light on the family name, basically.
That's terrible.
So I'm going to dig into it. It's going to be historical fiction, of course, because I'm not going to be able to pull the entire story for her, but I'm going to piece together her life and write about her and try to get her real name on the tombstone.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good. Give us some peace.
Yeah.
Some peace as such, yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I know.
I can't write that.
Well, that's why we're interviewing Crystal and not you.
Yeah.
As me and Crystal will be interviewing you, saying, what's your next book?
That's my next book. It'll be a Mr. Man book, my next book.
So if anyone has any questions, Matthew, just see Matthew.
Hi, Matthew.
Hi, Matthew. If anybody's got any questions for Crystal, please just throw them up there and we'll ask Crystal for you.
Yeah.
But Crystal, your podcast, how's the podcast going?
Oh, yes.
It's going good. It's going good. I just had Scott Allen on. He was a great guest. He's a medium from the Boston area. Right. And his story is amazing. He started out as he's always been a medium, but he kind of forgot about it because he worked in a funeral home. So you can imagine what that's like with those kind of gifts.
Yes.
So
yeah.
He retired from that, and he's really come full-fledged into mediumship, and now he's doing readings. And so he was on telling his story on how that happens. He had a spirit guide named David that was kind of following him around and pushing him toward embracing his gifts and using it to be able to help others. It's just a really lovely story.
Yeah. That's nice. That was a nice lovely story, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's great, the podcast. We loved doing your podcast. It was fantastic. We should
You guys
upload
have to come back.
We should.
Yeah. We need to come back.
Darren's got a question
Oh,
for
we
you.
have a question for you.
Darren.
So, hi, Crystal. What advice would you give to anyone who wanted to start out writing a book?
That's a tough one.
It is.
I don't know. Find your topic and do an outline first and be patient and write a little bit every day. That's the advice. And don't stop because it can be discouraging, especially when you got a lot of negative ninnies, I guess, out there. So don't let that get to you and just keep doing it. That's my advice.
So you're going to write a book, Darren? You're going to write a book on your memoirs?
Darren is part of our team when
Yeah.
it comes to investigations and that. If we go somewhere, we'll take Darren with us to do paranormal investigations. And he's very sensitive, so he picks up energies and but he's fascinated with all this, and isn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
Darren should definitely write a book.
He's Ghost Balmy. In fact, that's your name for your book, Ghost Balmy.
There you go.
There you go.
That's it. Good
Good
advice.
Darren says good advice.
Good advice. He's pleased with that. So I have a question for you. What is that behind you on the left?
Yes.
On the left.
On your...
That's the one.
On my left. The
No,
tree?
the tree.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so that's a Halloween prop that I make sculptures. And so I make all my own Halloween props, and that's from last year for the kids. I made like a haunted graveyard with different trees in it. That's the only one that's left. I sold the other ones. There was like 4 or 5 of them. It actually lights up and everything.
Wow, that's amazing.
I made a haunted graveyard, you know.
I know. When it comes to, you're very creative, Crystal. So you write books, you make sculptures, you do podcasts, you go off on adventures.
Paranormal investigations.
Yeah. I mean, just everything, and still manages to send videos to us. So she's just like a busy woman.
Busy lady.
A very busy lady. Are you feeling the fact that we're coming up to October at the moment? Because as soon as it's now the 1st of October, and we're coming up to Halloween. Do you believe the fact that it does get a little bit more?
I do.
Yes,
I do, and I don't think it's fully open just yet, but we're getting there.
Yes, we are. We are getting there. That veil is getting thinner, and once it gets to Halloween, we have a few plans here for a Halloween spectacular extravaganza, which we're not saying yet what we're going to be doing.
Words.
Yeah, I know they're all big words. I was
spectacular
looking for
extravaganza.
all the big words, but we will let you know, Crystal, what we'll be doing here because it'll all be live. So obviously we want you to come on, and we want you to come on for everything, don't we? For
we do.
Every time you come on to watch, just please say hello. Everybody who knows you now, so we'll go, oh, it's Crystal. So yeah, that'll be great. Do we have any last questions for our Crystal?
Well, Margaret.
Yes.
That's not a big question. Margaret's asking the same.
Everybody wants to know
how to write. Yeah, advice to write the book.
Yeah.
We're all going to write books.
We're all going to try and write a book. It's difficult, isn't it?
I can barely write.
You've got to have the content, you've got to have the beginning, the middle, the end, and you've got to have the time to do it, the patience to do it.
The patience, I think, more than anything else.
And the bravery, because you do think, oh, how's this going to be received by the world? But hopefully just go and do it because people will just love you for it. So I just think just be brave and just do it.
And don't forget, geezers, that the book Speaks to Shadows is for sale in our shop.
Yeah.
Wow. Speak to Shadows.
Crystal, you say the name of the book. It sounds so nice how you say it in your American twang.
Speaking to Shadows.
That's it. Sounds beautiful. Speaking to Shadows.
Okay. It's for sale in our shop.
Yeah, it is. So we sell that in our shop, so you can come and see that. In fact, it's downstairs. We should have brought it up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'll try and get the next one as well, so we've got that on here as well.
Yes.
So, Crystal, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We just keep dragging you in on these little interviews. Yeah. We miss you. We just want everyone to hear your stories because they are fascinating.
I'll have to try to start a YouTube channel about some of the adventures. Just put like little short clips.
You've started one, did you say you started one?
I started one, but I didn't really do a whole lot with it. So I'll try to find a time to get better at that.
Yeah. If you do anything like that, we'll share the link on here.
Yeah, because these guys will love it.
Yeah, they'll love it.
Yeah.
And we will put your photographs on our Facebook now. we'll put all your photographs on and the EVPs.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that you want to add to it, just put it on there so we can all have a look at it. So that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
On our
Brilliant.
gifted Stafford Ghost TV Facebook on that one, yeah.
Yes, on that one.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the feedback. It's been feedback all the way through. So
Is that a washing machine? Can I wash machine? Is that a washing machine? It is,
A
isn't
washing machine? No.
Yeah.
I don't have a washing machine.
It's the spirits. It's the feedback.
Okay. The spirit's washing the clothes.
So, Crystal, thank you so much for chatting to us tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
No,
well, it's an honor for us.
the honour is ours. And yes, like I say, put anything on Facebook. And if anyone hasn't got any questions, that can connect with you through Facebook as well, can't they?
Yeah. You're going to come back next month for us, aren't you?
Yeah, come back next month and we'll have a little chat with you again, if that's all right.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to a new place, so I'll have loads to talk about.
Yeah.
Vulture City, I think is the name of it in Arizona.
Oh, England, do you?
Vulture City.
Vulture City.
Wow, that sounds
What do
great.
you call it in this country?
Pigeon Parish.
Pigeon Parish.
Yeah.
Vulture City.
Vulture City sounds like it does.
It's so west, isn't it? It's so wild west.
Really? I want to go to Vulture City.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Crystal.
Thank
We will say goodbye to you, and then we are going to go live with our cameras. So please stay tuned tonight, and we'll be able to chat to you on the line.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
Darren said it was great to see you again.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye,
Thank
Darren.
you. Thank you. We're going to go live again, guys. So I'm going to set up the other video now. We're going to go live through the night again, and off we go again on our investigation. Don't go away. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.